Hi Flosstube! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher, both here on YouTube and Instagram, and this is a YouTube channel about cross stitch. Yay! Yay, because we all love cross stitch here. And if you're new, welcome. Hope that you're tuning in because you like cross stitch, or if not and just want to see what's up, check it out. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I love everybody who watches and comments. I am a little bit behind on comments. I have not replied. I've read all the comments kind of as they were coming in from last week's video, but I haven't had a chance to go in there and give them all hearts so you know I see them or reply to you individually. I will do that probably tomorrow. It was a crazy weekend, crazy busy weekend. I should say it is Monday, March 2nd. It's only the 2nd, right? Thank God. If this month goes as fast as February, I'm done for. It is March 2nd on Monday, and it is cross stitch happy hour. Today I'm having, I'll show you, one of the dance moms. My girls had a dance competition this weekend, so the weekend was a little nutty. And one of the dance moms brought us all these little guys, and I didn't get around to having mine, so I thought I'd try it out today. It's like a sparkling wine in a can. Or a classy bunch. But it says natural flavors of passion fruit, grapefruit, and lime, delicately folded into fine French wine. Because what fine French wine doesn't come in a can? But it's pink and it has like grapefruit and lime, which I love. So it's pretty good. Not bad. Not bad for a can of wine, guys. Honestly, that's about all I can handle today. Voice is a little scratchy because there was a lot of hooting and hollering at the competition this weekend. I got quite a bit of stitching done last week, Monday through Thursday, because there was very little stitching over the weekend. But I'll show you guys what I worked on. Speaking of comments, going through the comments, it looked like there was a little bit of Q&A. So I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A, and then I'm going to do kind of a wrap up of what February looked like as far as like totals and kind of overall how the month went, and we'll show some WIPs and the tiny amount of haul that I have, and then we'll talk plans for March because March is here. It's March. I did make some plans at the very last minute. So that's the agenda. That's the agenda for cross stitch happy hour today. Are you guys ready? Okay, last week I was talking a little bit about market because as we all know, market is coming. It's what this weekend. Market is this weekend, guys. So we were talking about pre-orders and all the fun things that are coming out. And I had asked if like I was missing something because I had pre-ordered 2 things. I pre-ordered 2 things. One that I knew was like a very limited edition kit from Lindy Stitches for her Tom Turkey, because I like a kit. I'm a sucker for a kit, especially if it comes with all the like finishing doodads and trims. And then I also bought my favorite of Michelle Bendy Stitchy's Nashville releases because it's her first one and I adore her. And so I wanted to contribute to her first market success because I'm sure it's going to be a rousing success for her. So that's all I had bought. And I was asking, like, am I missing something? Because I see people ordering lots of stuff or pre-ordering a lot of stuff. And it seems like, no. I didn't hear from anyone that like, oh, yep, you've missed out. And it seems like I'm not the only one that's kind of just waiting. Someone said that they don't pre-order because it would be like playing with fire. And yes, I agree. Even placing that one tiny order then makes you think, oh, but maybe I should also get this. Maybe I should also get that. And there are so many of those patterns that I would like to stitch someday, but I think that they'll still be around. They'll still be around. I want to get through some of the stuff I have. And yeah, but there's so many beautiful things. I'm very, very, very excited to see everybody come back and what everybody gets and what everybody starts. So it's going to be a fun couple months in the cross stitch community. The other question I got on last week's video and also on Instagram was a question about rinsing my floss, because I mentioned that I had rinsed my floss for cardinal points, and I had several people be like, what you doing? So when I learned to cross stitch from my mom way back in the day, I was taught to wash the piece when you were done. You washed it, you ironed it before you fully finished it. And then when I did the girl stockings, it had the same instructions, like wash it, iron it, fully finish it. So that's what I kept doing. Then I fell down the rabbit hole of overdyed fabric and fancy floss and learned that that stuff is not color fast. Some of it is, some of it they claim it is. So cardinal points is stitched in all Gentle Arts threads, which are overdyed. On the, let me pull out one of their little things. I'll show you cardinal points later, but see, I kept all the little tags, even though I put the thread on floss drops. So the Gentle Art says that they are color fast. However, we recommend the following procedure. Rinse threads in hot water before stitching. Blot on white paper towel to test for any excess surface color. If color shows, rinse and blot again, hang up to dry. So this was something that so to be clear, I don't rinse all of my floss. DMC is color fast. In general, I don't rinse all my flosses. However, I did bump up into this when I started Game of Swans last fall because I do stitch in hand. So I'm handling my fabric a lot. Now I do wash my hands before I start stitching. Anytime I sit down to stitch, I wash my hands first. However, it's fabric, it's gonna get dirty. And since that was a long-term project, I knew that there was a good chance I was going to want to wash it. So that is also all stitched in Gentle Arts. I'm pretty sure it's all Gentle Arts as well on Game of Swans. So I did that, I rinsed them, and I did find that some of the darker greens and reds did have a little bit of surface dye left on them. But you rinse them, blotted it off, rinsed them again, and I would just keep doing that, rinse and blot until there was no surface color left. It doesn't fade or change the color of the floss at all. I think it's just excess dye because the darker colors, I think they have to use so much dye, then there's some that just doesn't soak into the cotton floss. So that is why I rinsed it for cardinal points, because cardinal points I'm stitching on white, which I'm thrilled with. I think it's the total right choice for me for that project. But I am stitching it on white, and I do think it's going to take a long time to finish, therefore more opportunity for it to get dirty. And so I wanted to have the option to wash it when I am done and not have to worry about floss bleeding. Now I'm doing that one on white, not an overdyed fabric. Game of Swans I'm doing on pearl gray, which is like a Zweigart color. It's not overdyed, that's color fast. So that said, most of my projects I don't rinse the floss and I don't wash anymore now that I'm using overdyed, because I just try to be careful with them. Not get them too dirty. And yeah, so that's the why I rinsed my floss. Your mileage may vary. You don't have to. I think lots of people don't ever do that, don't ever wash their pieces. But on some of these bigger pieces that are going to take me a long time, I wanted to have the option. So I figured just rinsing off the floss is not a bad idea. I can't remember the other overdyers. I think Crescent Color, either Crescent Color Works or Weeks Dye Works also say they're color fast, and then the other one doesn't. I would still think that you could probably just give it a good rinse. I don't know. I'm no expert. I'm no expert. I just read the tag and went along with it because I wanted to be able to wash it. All right, that's enough floss rinsing talk. February wrap up. Okay, so in February, some stats for February. I did not, for my 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic, I missed two, wait, is that right? Two? Where's that? Yes. So I missed 3. 3? Farewell anger. Yes. I missed 3 out of my goals. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. So I got 7 out of 10. And the 3 that I did not reach was 1,200 stitches on Game of Swans. I don't think I had 1,200. I know I used it for several different challenge tasks, but I clearly didn't keep track, running tally. Whoops. Emily's house, I was going to put 480 in, and I know I only used that for 1 task, so it only got 250. And then I had Hello Pumpkin as a finish, which you guys will see I did not make. But I'm so close. You'll see it in a minute. So totals on full coverage projects, I had 2,392 stitches. In Farewell to Anger and Harry Potter, I had 2,554. So they're staying pretty close to the same with my rotation. I'm pretty happy about that. That was an annoying noise. I do that all the time though. I try not to on the video, but it happens. Monthly challenges for Enchanted Stitching. I missed a couple of those. I was very focused on Hello Pumpkin. I had, for the month, I had 6 starts, and I also had 6 finishes. However, I will say I'm counting my Tingles block as a finish, even though it's not a fully finish, like a full finish. I'm counting the Tingles block as a finish. So that put me at equal. So I didn't add to my WIP count any, and I call that a win because I'm planning to do Mania. So as much as I would like to maybe be reducing the WIP count, if I cannot let it continue to explode before May, that would be great. That'd be good. So I thought that was pretty good. So what did I work on? Let me find the page of my planner. Flipping through the planner, flipping through the planner. Okay, so I worked on, last Monday, I worked on Dog's Declaration. I made this fit into a task. Last week was our in school, not School of Magical Stitches, Enchanted Stitching Facebook group. So if you're new here, I am a joiner. As you will see, I cannot help but join all the fun things. And so I'm in a bunch of challenge groups on Facebook, and I will probably sprinkle their names in here and there. I do not a great job of explaining them a lot of times, or like even when I'm showing my WIPs, telling you everything about them. So I spend a lot of time on the description box. So if you're like, what is she talking about? Like Enchanted Stitching, Semi-Sane Stitchers. Check the description box below because I've linked everything. If I talk about it in this video, I put a link about it down below. So that makes it easy for you guys to find. So last week in Enchanted Stitching was the last week of Frozen, and there was a task about true love. You had to work on your true love, and I worked on Dog's Declaration. I also worked on this right at the beginning of the week because Semi-Sane Stitchers is doing alphabet soup this year. So every 2 weeks the letter changes and you work on a project that starts with the letter that we're currently working on. So we've been working on D, so Dog's Declaration. So here's what it's going to look like in 50 bajillion years before I die. Dog's Declaration by Ink Circles. And so I worked on this for both of those, for Enchanted Stitching and Semi-Sane Stitchers. I am stitching this on 36 count linen in Bisque by Lakeside Linens using the called for Valdani threads. I bought the thread pack at Acorns and Threads with the chart. This is a lot of fabric to wrangle. Hold on. Okay, here we go. And that's what I got to. So I finished out, I already had some of the L, I think, done when you guys saw it last, but I finished up the L and added more to the border. And people talk about the Valdani threads and not liking them, that they break. I haven't really had that problem. I've been using shorter lengths. A lot of people said just use a shorter length and then you don't have to worry about it. But I can see why people maybe don't love them, because they do feel more dry or brittle maybe. I haven't had a problem at all stitching with them, but I am using shorter lengths. And these are the regular skeins, not the balls that are called for with like the Quaker, the Rosewood. Is it Rosewood Manor? It has the autumn Quaker, summer Quaker, spring Quaker that lots of people are doing with Gowron tote bags. Those are like balls of Valdani thread that I think are 3-ply. I don't know anything about those. These are skeins, like 6-stranded skeins. So I'm stitching this 1/2. So, and I really like how it's coming out. Of course, I've already messed it up and I'm not frogging it and fixing it. I posted this on my story. I will show you guys just a little tiny bit of the chart. Hold on. So that you can see what I did. It says, do not count off here. I would say at least half of my charts have some such notation. Like I went one too many over. Like it's like one too long somewhere around here. But I had already finished off that length. And so it's gonna look fine. And there's room for it to be one longer. I just need to remember not to count off that later. So I left myself a little note. Don't count off this. You've already screwed that up, kiddo. I just thought maybe some of you could relate and would get a good laugh. So that's Dog's Declaration. And then I, of course, worked on Hello Pumpkin. I fit it into 2 tasks for Enchanted Stitching last week. I worked on it every day except Friday, because Friday was crazy. The girls' competition started on Friday. I didn't even talk about my week. I usually do a little bit of life update at the beginning. I can't even tell you what happened. Last week feels like 3 weeks ago because the weekend felt like 5 days long, and not in a good way. I mean, kind of. Competition weekends are long. This particular competition for my girls was the only one that we have this season that their entire company was competing at. So they go to a very large studio, and their competition company has like multiple levels. There's 8 teams within the company. 4 of them are what's considered highly competitive, and they do a whole bunch of stuff all season, and that's what both my daughters are on. There are 2 teams that are petites. They're the little kids. So most of the highly competitive kids are over 10 years old. The petites tend to be under 10. There's 2 teams there, and they just do less stuff. Like they just only do a few competitions because they're little. And our director of our studio and the company, who I adore and is so smart, she's been at this for so long, and she wants it to be really fun for the little kids. And she does not want to burn them out. Because there's a lot of youth sports where they just push these little ones, especially if they have some talent, really, really, really hard, and they burn out. And what she wants our kids to do is still love dance and have it be a super fun, positive experience for them when they're little, and focus on their training and get to have some fun. And then there's also 2, we call them Trek teams. They're transitional rec. So those are kids that either they like dance and want to do a little bit, like they're more rec, like it's recreational. This is not their life, like my crazy kids. That gives them a place to just do a little bit of dance competing, or maybe they're just like not quite ready for highly competitive yet. And so this is a good place for them to start and get up to speed with the highly competitive kids. So those 2 teams also do a little bit less. So there's a lot of explaining that you guys probably don't care about, but because of that, they kind of tend to do different events throughout the season. And this is the one chance we got to have everybody all together. So you spend like the whole weekend like watching every team and cheering for everybody. And it is a fun, but very long and exhausting weekend. So I couldn't even tell you what I did last week, except the last 3 days were completely nothing but dance competition. It was a blast. And I've gotten quite a few very sweet messages, like saying like, oh, I'd love to see your daughters dance. On my Instagram story, hopefully this will load and be up. before. Oh, I'll save it all down. I'll save it all down as a highlight. I can do that. Look at me being tech savvy. There'll be a highlight that maybe says Dancing Daughters or something like that. Because I posted up some pictures, and this competition did, for some of the dances, we were able to get like little 10-second video clips. So a lot of times they want you to like buy all that picture and video for exorbitant prices. But this competition gave us all the pictures for free and little 10-second video clips. So I spammed my story this morning. So if you're interested at all, because I know a lot of you, I mean, because everybody here is so kind and supportive, but I have gotten quite a few messages saying, oh, I'd love to see, you know, your daughter's dance. If you do have video, you can check that out and see some stills and a little bit of video. I'm not allowed to post any other competition pieces until the season's over. So when the season is over in July, I will put up video somewhere that with a link. So if anybody who's interested in actually watching their full numbers, I don't know who that would be, but maybe their grandparents would love to see their dances. Okay, Hello Pumpkin. Friday, competition started. It was a crazy day, but I worked on this every day. And you guys, I got so close to a finish on this. I got so close and it didn't happen. But do not despair. I'm going to keep working on this a little bit every day, just one length of thread until it's done, and it should not take much longer. Look. Ta-da! Look at the cute little bird that went in. I did the other acorn in the correct colorway. Look at that. See, it's totally backwards. Does it look weird? I don't think it looks weird. I think it's okay that they're different. What do you guys think? I don't think I'm ripping it out, but look, that's the colorway the acorn's supposed to be, not opposite. And there it is. I'm so close. There's like, what do I have left? I know that there's at least like 2 big leaves left. Yeah, there's like a really big like oak leaf here and a biggish leaf here and another little one of these like cherry blossom branches like this one. There's another little cherry blossom branch and then some just scattered leaves. So I'm super close. And I did put, I think it was also in my stories. I'll post it up on the feed somewhere. I did a side-by-side of where it was at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month. And it really was an amazing amount of progress. And so this was, I'm in another group that was created by Jessie Marie Does Stuff, called WIP Go. And this was one of the WIP Go numbers for February. And when it was called, when this number was called in February, I cringed. I was like, oh, I'm not even sure I want to do it. Maybe I should just get rid of it. And then if you guys remember, at the beginning of the month, I said, no, I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to commit to it for the month, see if I can get it finished. And you know what? I love it. I'm so glad I put all the work into it. I'm going to be thrilled when it's finished in like another week or 2. I'll be real thrilled with the Stitch from Stash credit. Because, okay, let's take a moment to discuss for Stitch from Stash. I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet. It's not good, people. Not good. I ended negative $69.75. I had 6 finishes. So I had 6 finishes worth a total of $40.30 that I took credit on. I had a spending of $132.50. And it was seriously almost all floss. It was almost all floss for stuff that I'm working on, going to be working on. Nick stitches. Maybe stay away from the bougie floss. I think that might be a good call because the bougie floss is that's what's breaking my bank. That's what's breaking my budget is the bougie floss. I'm addicted to that overdyed floss though, guys. Okay. So my $25 budget reset, had to carry over my negative balance. So I'm starting March $44.75 in the hole. That does not seem insurmountable though. It does not seem insurmountable because I'm going to have some good finishes this month. I am. That I know for sure. I'm going to have some good finishes this month. I am not going to First Thursday at Acorns this week, so that should help. I'm kind of bummed because, man, this month's coupon was 20% off fabric, so it was probably a really good thing I'm not going. But Becca's biopsy results are supposed to be back on Thursday, and so I just don't feel right being gone all day and pretty much out of reach. So I plan to have some good finishes, and hopefully not too many more expenses. My Nashville pre-order is already included in that, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But it's making me realize, like, I think I've been so conscious about how much I've been spending. I would have easily spent 3 times that. Easily, not a second thought if I was not doing Stitch from Stash. So I'm not like worried about it because, like, this is my hobby. It's fun. I can afford to buy some things. But I like that Stitch from Stash is making me focus on finishing and making me like kind of think twice. Like, do I really need that? Do I need it right now? I'm not even going to start. I mean, start it right now. Like, unless I'm going to start it right now. I did buy the floss because there are some things I'm going to start. You guys will see in plans. There's some things I'm going to start. But if I'm not going to start it right now, maybe I could just put it on the wish list and wait. This is an immense amount of restraint for me. Okay. So, dog's declaration. Oh, I haven't shown you Harry Potter. Have you guys all been yelling at me saying, Erin, we haven't seen the full coverage? Probably thinking I just glazed over it, just about. Okay, so I have 2, for those of you who are new, I have 2 full coverage projects and I rotate them out weekly. This week it was Harry Potter book covers turn. That's what it's gonna look like. It's by Fox and Teacup Designs. This is the supersized max color version of the US book covers. So she's got different sizes and she does have one that is the UK book covers. So if you like those better or you're from the UK and those are the ones that you read and grew up with, she does have that copy. She has that version as well. So that's what it's going to look like. And I'm still working up in the top of book 2. So there we go. So I got a lot more of the A. So I got all the way over to the edge. Had I gotten to the edge last time? I don't think so. So this is the edge of book 2. So you can see it's going to be, well, no, you can't because some of that's covered up. It is narrower than book 1. So there's the edge of book 2. And I still have a ways to go till I'm the bottom of the page, which isn't really a page. But, so there we go. There's the progress. It's so dark today, guys. So I have the ring light up and it's really making everything seem much brighter than it is. That's a little better. Because it's definitely got some darker tones to it. It's not that bright. So there we go. Harry Potter book covers. And then tonight I'll be getting out Farewell to Anger again. All right. Kind of a little all over the place, aren't I, today? Sorry, guys. Okay, and then I was working on, what else did I work on? On the 25th, I joined Mary 25 Stitching. Yes, that's what it is. Mary 25 Stitching, and this was started by Stitchology. Stitchology. Sarah. I think it's, I will link her below. Why am I blanking on your Flosstube name? I can't remember. But she was saying, hey, we have like Dark 13 stitching where we stitch on Halloween stuff. Is Mary 25 a thing? And she's like, if not, I'm making it a thing. Hashtag Mary 25. And I thought, I like that. That's a great idea. And so I pulled out my Chalkboard ornaments because I figured these are, I think they might be on my rope go board to finish a set of them. But like if I need for a challenge something kind of Christmassy themed, this isn't what I tend to pull out. But if I worked on these like the 25th of every month, I could knock out these little ornaments. So I've already done, which one did I do? I did Believe. Believe is already done. I'm working on Be Jolly. So I just worked on it a little bit, just like one little I think like while I sometimes take a break in the middle of the day. I work from home, so I sometimes take a break in the middle of the day at my lunch time, and whenever I have lunch, and then I'll sit down and do a little bit of stitching, maybe watch a Flosstube. So I got, I think these leaves went in, and that was about it. Because I already have, when I pulled it out, I had more done on this than I remembered. So I just have to finish off these leaves, put in the red berries, and then there's back stitching inside these letters. And this one will be done. And I'll just have one more to go on the set. Now I do have more of these patterns. So I think there's like 3 sets of them. And I think I really liked 2 out of the 3 sets. So we'll see. So I worked on that for Merry 25 stitching, and I'll bring it out again in March. Maybe I'll finish it up this month. That'd be cool. And then the last thing I worked on for all of the challenges was my March Lizzie Kate yearbook. And that was for a challenge that was racing to finish. And I sure was racing to finish that because I let that go until the very end of the month. And I finished that on Thursday, 2 days ago. And so I've already put it in the frame. I did that today, this morning. So I just brought up the whole frame to show you guys, look. There it is. Last month or 2 months ago, I chipped the frame. That's a bummer. And I keep trying to decide if I'm gonna find like a marker that matches, or I'm actually thinking I should just take sandpaper and distress the whole thing. But in the meantime, it's just chipped. But there we go. March yearbook all done and displayed. I love this. I love this little series. So moving on to the April one. Okay, so that is, oh, that's not everything I worked on. Hello, I was about to say, that's it, that's all I worked on. Nope, there was one very, very special start on Saturday. So Teen Soloist, which is my youngest daughter, went on Friday night. Saturday morning were like the petites, were the little kids. And so I went and watched some of it, but I didn't have another daughter competing. Abby's duo and solo was Saturday night, and then all the rest of the groups were on Sunday. So Saturday morning, I did have a tiny little window of time on Leap Day to start cardinal points for the Long Dog Leap Day Sal. And you guys, I cannot tell you how blown away I am by how many people joined in on this. I am beyond tickled. Like I feel like a big kid now. Like I feel like almost like a cross-stitch adult. Not really. I feel like a cross-stitch teenager that's faking it and pretending to be an adult. But I feel like all grown up. I feel like a grown-up cross-stitcher that I started a stitch along just because I wanted to start cardinal points on Leap Day. And so many people are playing along. So if you are stitching a long dog for Leap Day, if you started one or are going to, because let's face it, it's still leap year. If you really wanted to start a long dog but couldn't get like fabric or couldn't get it kitted up or didn't have time, join in. I'm a very low rule, like this is for fun. Like there's no real rules. You can start, it's still leap year. Sorry guys, the convention center was so, you'd think I have lipstick on, right? Pink lipstick? I do not. My lips are that chapped. The convention center was so dry. Okay. Yeah, I'm very low key. Which is why this has like I think that might be the popularity. I'm very low key, which is why this has a 4-year finish expectation. So the idea, guys, if you're new, was that you start a long dog sampler, any chart by long dog sampler, on Leap Day with the goal to finish by the next Leap Day in 4 years. That was the entire stitch along. That's it. I have very low rules. And I think that might be that 4-year timeline, I have a feeling might have lent to the popularity of the stitch along. But because of that, I do expect you all to be posting your progress pictures to that hashtag for 4 years. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that hashtag for 4 years. And I was able to get on there on Saturday and like check out what everybody was starting. I didn't have any time to do that yesterday. And so tonight I'm hoping to get back on the hashtag and see what else everybody posted. Go check it out. You can like search the hashtag Long Dog Leap Day Sal, I'll link it below, on Instagram, and you can follow the hashtag. This has been kind of a dangerous exercise for me because now there are many more long dog charts on my wish list. There were some that, I thought that I had very exhaustively looked at her website. There were ones there that I've never seen or I didn't notice, but then people started stitching them and they look amazing. So many different takes on floss and thread, like on fabric and thread combos. Lots and lots of goodness there. Check it out. If you are playing along, thank you. You're like making my year that so many people have jumped on in this with me. And if you still want to get started, get started. Throw that hashtag on there. I don't care. I don't care that you haven't started it yet. So that's cardinal points. Quite a few other people are stitching cardinal points with me, but there's so many fantastic starts, other charts that people are starting. And so here is my start. There it is. That is a very familiar butterfly, dragonfly outline, but it's a start. But it is started. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be stitching this, to have this. I'm so excited just to have it as a WIP now that I can pull out from time to time. And I do plan to stitch this on it the 29th of every month. And yes, I know I'm going to have to stitch on it more than that if I want it done in 4 years. But for sure, this will come out the 29th of every month. So, yay. Okay, that's all my works in progress. That's everything that I worked on this week. I'm going to show you my tiny little bit of haul, and then we'll talk March plans. So, my dear friend Annie, Joyfield Stitcher, she posted up a bunch of pictures of stuff on her D-stash. If you're not watching her channel, you should watch her. She is, I tipped over my garbage can. It was rocking back and forth. Okay, you should go watch Annie because she is an absolute delight. And I'm so excited. Oh, this did happen this week. I knew there was exciting stuff that happened this week. This past week, on like, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday, I feel okay sharing this information because Annie shared it on her Flosstube. So, Joyfield Stitcher. She messages me that she got an invoice from Keepsakes. You guys know what that means, don't you? She got into StitchCon. I was just so excited for her, and she was like, I think your day is any day now, because we both jumped on the wait list like within minutes of it opening, as I'm sure like thousands of other people did too. But we both jumped on getting on the wait list for StitchCon first thing in the morning last fall when the wait list opened. So she was like, I can't believe I got in. I'm going to try to make it happen to go. I think it's going to happen for you any day. And I was like, I don't know. Like, a bunch just went out. Like, maybe if they, had people that couldn't go and they just sent out more stuff. I mean, maybe I'm getting closer, but I don't know. Can you guys see? Like, I didn't even get around to showering until this afternoon. Oh, mess. Okay. But I was so excited for her. The very next day, this girl gets an invoice from Keepsakes. It's happening. I am so excited. I'm going to StitchCon. Drew was all in. He's like, yep, you should go. And I'm so excited. I'm going to StitchCon. I can't even believe it's happening. Coronavirus, no coronavirus, unless the whole world's under quarantine, I'm going to StitchCon. I'm so excited. So she was planning to anyway, but also because StitchCon, Annie put a bunch of stuff up on her D-Stash. She runs a D-Stash on Instagram, Joy-Filled, I think it's Joy-Filled D-Stash or Joy-Filled Stitcher D-Stash. I'll link it below because she was D-Stashing some good stuff. She's gotten pretty brutal with her collection. So I restrained myself. And man, she put up a bunch of stuff up on Saturday, but I was like over at the convention center and I didn't see it before it was like gone. And I'm kind of glad because I probably would have misplaced a bunch more stuff and I'd be even more in the hole. But I did, when she put stuff up maybe a week or so ago, I did pick up a piece of 36 count. I think she said this was a Victorian motto linen. And I've never stitched on any Victorian motto. And 36 count is quickly becoming my favorite. And that's actually pretty true to color right there. So it was 1/8 of a yard. And she had it for a good price. And then she so sweetly threw in a little color and cotton floss ring. Look how pretty that is. I'm gonna have to use that for something. Don't know what, but look how pretty that is. So this was my one purchase because I'm starting just a little tiny bit to think about Mania. Because I'm thinking that I better, it's gonna be May. It's gonna be May before we know it. And I have quite a bit of stuff kitted up, but some of it is maybe missing fabric. And I just thought this was a good neutral that would work for a lot of stuff. So that's my only haul. It was a little bit from Annie's D-Stash. Go check her out and follow her on Flosstube and Instagram because she's a doll. And I adore her. And she's my BFF that I've never met. Okay, plans. On to March plans. I have filled out my 24 hours of cross stitch across stick. So here it is in my planner, which you guys know I love, which is also the base of my planner is Jen Lee's Works and Stitches 24 hours of cross stitch planner. However, you can get the acrostic for each month in the group. Like she releases it a little bit before the beginning of the month. If you buy the planner, they're all in here for the whole year. But kind of a month-to-month girl anyway. So there it is. So this month it is Measure Time. And I have stuff slotted in here. M I have for my monthly Tingles block as a finish. E is for having an Earth Designs Farewell to Anger. 1,200 stitches. I pulled back on that a little bit. It was 2,400 last month. I would like to get over 1,200, but competition weekends I don't get any stitching done. So it's like kind of 3 out of 7 days a week are shot on the full coverage stitching at the moment. Is what it is. A is April yearbook. Gotta get that finished. S I use for Chamber of Secrets because that's the book I'm stitching on for Harry Potter book covers. U, this is a tough one. Are you ready? I use Unagi, and I'm gonna pull out my friend's collage. Unagi. Salmon skin roll. If you guys get that reference, we can be friends. We can be friends anyway, but I love that show. Okay, R is for rabbits because there are rabbits on my Game of Swans, and that was a WIP Go pool. We'll talk about WIP Go numbers in a moment. The second out of 3 E's is for Easter Hoopla. I'm going to start the Easter holiday hoopla. T is for trio because there's a trio of charts in the laundry company. So I'm going to work on irony. I is for an Irish design, and that's going to be the St. Patrick's Day holiday hoopla that I'm going to be starting this week. M is for mint from Strawberries and Mint, which is the next one I'm going to be stitching from the French Kitchen collection. I need to get moving on those. And then E is for Erin's birthday Sal. Because it's my birthday month. Yay! I don't really celebrate a birthday month. Actually, my birthday kind of goes by without much fanfare. So I thought, because it's always smack dab in the middle of dance competition season, so I'm always at a competition. You don't really celebrate my birthday. That's okay. I'm a big girl. I am going to be 45 on the 24th. There you go. But I thought it would be fun to do a birthday stitch along. So this would be a good time to talk about birthday stitch along. Oh, I didn't grab the chart. Hold on. I talked about it last week, but in case you guys weren't here, I'm going to be starting on my birthday. Yes, on my birthday, I'm going to be starting Duke Clover by Al Forrest Embroidery. I bought this last year, and when I bought this from 1884. Stitchery, I don't think that she has any more of this kit, but she has a lot of Al Forrest kits. You can also get PDFs directly from the Al Forrest Embroidery website. But I'm going to be starting Duke Clover. And so I thought it'd be fun to do a birthday stitch along. So it's going to be hashtag Lucky Birthday Sal. And you can work on any Al Forrest. It doesn't have to be this one. Don't even have to have a start if you're working on, you know, another Al Forrest chart. Stitch on any Al Forrest or any chart that has like a green or Irish or lucky type of theme. So Lucky Birthday Sal. It's going to be the birthday Sal for this month. And I'll start that on my birthday. Okay, WIP Go. Jessie Marie pulled WIP Go numbers. And the numbers that were pulled for this month were 18 and 24. And my 18 is one of 2 squares that I dedicated to Game of Swans with the goal to be halfway done. Well, that's not happening this month. I did not talk about in February wrap-up. So the February WIP Go numbers were 3 and 23, which were Hello Pumpkin, and then Farewell to Anger, which I had as a page finish, or like, which is 8,000 stitches. Since I'm doing diagonals, it won't be like a square page. So I just said 8,000 stitches, which would be a page finish. So, and I decided that I'm going to start the counting on that when it's pulled. So I didn't get 8,000 stitches done. I mean, unless you're actually Jessie Marie, who gets in 8,000 stitches on their full coverage? That girl is a stitching machine. Have you checked out her channel? She's doing the most gorgeous full coverage called In This Moment. And she, like, the amount of stitching she puts in it is amazing. Okay, so clearly I did not finish either of those, although I feel like Hello Pumpkin's gonna be done here very soon. Farewell to Anger will be done in a few months. That's fine. I put them on the WIP Go board to make sure that I didn't put the full coverage projects down. Like, I wanted to maintain that rotation, and I knew I would if I had them on the WIP Go board, and they're both on here twice. So that would be for the year 2 pages minimum. Seems doable. Okay. March. First one is Game of Swans, halfway done. I just finished the first page. 1 page done on Game of Swans. Halfway done would be 4.5 pages. I don't think I'm whipping out 3.5 pages, but that's okay. I am going to focus on it this month because it was called. So I am going to try to fit it into all the tasks and everything where I can, like I did with Hello Pumpkin. The second number, number 24, is Laundry Company. And I did alter my WIP Go board because I had both of my, so Laundry Company is 3 charts. I have 1 done and fully finished and hanging in my laundry room, and I want to do the other 2. I have started Irony. I have not started the Never Ending Cycle. I don't know why, instead of just putting Laundry Company on here twice, I actually put Laundry Company, Never Ending Cycle, and Laundry Company Irony, and Never Ending Cycle got called first. So I just switched them. I just flipped their positions because I already have Irony started. I don't want to start another one without finishing Irony first. So it seemed like an okay edit. I'm not like totally changing my WIP Go board to meet the goals. I'm just flipping it so that I'm working on them in order. There's no real order, but so Laundry Company Irony, and the goal on that is a finish. And I'm going to really push for that finish this month because I should be able to do that. Like I managed to do apples and sage, but I do that month. I did apples and sage and Promise of Spring in January. So I think that I can finish Hello Pumpkin, finish Irony, and get some really good progress in on Game of Swans. Those are the WIP Go. So those are the WIP Go focus pieces for this month. You would think that that would be enough. That seems like that's enough, Erin, right? You're doing Enchanted Stitching, which this month is Pirates of the Caribbean. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. Curse of the Black Pearl. I'm not a big Pirates of the Caribbean. I like the ride. I know I've seen at least one of the movies. Don't know which one. I might have even seen 2 of the movies. My husband really likes them. He will happily watch it with me. I don't know all their titles. It's a Pirates of the Caribbean movie that we're doing this month. If you're a big Pirates fan, I'm sorry. I'm probably horrified that I don't know which movie it is. I will know pretty soon because I'll watch it because there's always a little watch party challenge. So, Enchanted Stitching, WIP Go, 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic. That seems like plenty to keep track of. Oh, Semi-Sane, Alphabet Soup, right? There's also a monthly one. What else is monthly for Semi-Sane? Oh, there's also a Tame or Savage, a this or that. So you pick either something that represents tame to you or something that represents savage. It's a non-counting event, which I love. And you just work on that this month and show progress. So I'm going to be working on Game of Swans, of course, because we're focusing on Game of Swans this month. And I am picking that and saying they are savage because I, in fact, am a little scared of large groups of birds. Okay. I am a lot scared of large groups of birds. So a game of swans, and game is the plural for a large flock or group of swans. A game of swans, I find terrifying and would be savage. Okay, you would think that that would be enough things to focus on and do, but oh no. Then I start hearing little whispers. March Madness, March Madness, March Stitchy Madness. And I knew, like, I've watched Jen Lee, Quirks and Stitches, because she's awesome. I've been watching her for a long time, and I knew that she kind of does her mania in March and has always called it March Madness. I'm going to do mania, so I'm not doing it twice in March and May, although she's going to do March Madness again, and I am here for seeing all the things she starts because she's doing 31 starts. Go check that out. That's going to be fun to watch. However, then I watched the amazing ladies of Steel City Stitchers. Are you guys watching them? Love the Steel City Stitchers. I don't think they know who I am. Actually, I think Erin has commented on my Hello Pumpkin, so she might know who I am. But they are the most fun looking group of friends. I grew up kind of around Pittsburgh, so I had an affinity for them anyway, because I grew up around Pittsburgh. And now I kind of want to like move back to Pittsburgh and hang out and like lightly stalk them and make them be my friends. So Steel City Stitchers have put together their kind of own bracket version of March Madness. They have a Facebook page. It's not a group. That threw me for a second. It's not a group, it's a page, Steel City Stitchers. So you can go like their page, and this, what I'm about to show you, this file is up there so you can print out your own bracket if you want. I was going to start on the 1st, which was yesterday. That didn't happen. I came home. We got home finally last night at 8 o'clock at night. I had something to eat. Watched Last Week Tonight with John Oliver with my husband and crashed. Crashed hard. So I just adjusted my dates on my bracket and we're going to start today. Okay, so how does this work? This is their bracket that they put together that I am playing along with. And they have it set up that you do one WIP and one start on the beginnings of each bracket. And the idea is that you pit these against each other, and whatever advances down to your bracket until you get to one project that the goal is to finish an FFO in March. And you don't have to do it that way. Like, they're also, like me, like pretty loose rules, like set it up how it works for you. You could do all starts, you could do WIPs. Clearly you didn't need to start on the 1st. Has the basketball tournament even started yet? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't follow basketball. Okay. I did keep to 1 WIP and 1 start because I had that many starts that I wanted to do anyway, and so it worked. So what I did is I gave each one a day, and I'm going to work on each project for a day, and then I'm going to let all my Instagram followers vote on which one progresses in the bracket, and that will be in my stories. So today I'm going to work on Gobble Gob. So I picked my WIPs based on what was on my WIP Go board and is going to be called eventually, what is close enough to be finishing or small enough that I could potentially finish an FFO it. So that's how I picked my WIPs. And then my starts, I had small stuff that I was wanting to start anyway. Strawberries and mint is not very small, but if that makes it all the way to the end, I'll give it my best shot. Okay, so today I'm gonna work on Gobble Gob. Tomorrow, my start is gonna be the St. Patrick's Day holiday hoopla. And then sometime the day after, I will put it up in my stories to vote on what advances, okay? And then, so that's the 2nd, 3rd. On the 4th, I'm gonna work on irony because WIP Go Pool. My start on the 5th is gonna be strawberries and mint, which is the next French kitchen collection that I'm gonna be starting. And then after I work on those 2, I will put it up in my stories so you guys can vote. And then on the 6th, my WIP is arranging vegetables. My start is going to be the April yearbook. You guys, be kind to me when you're voting, okay? Be nice. And the 8th is going to be those chalkboard ornaments, right? Because I'm going to want to work on those anyway, not on the 8th, but on the 25th. But also, that's pretty close to a finish. I could finish that. I don't know that I'd FFO it, but I could finish it. And then my last start is going to be the Easter hoopla. So that's my bracket. So the next 8 days, each of these will get a day. And then after I work on each set of 2, I'll put up the vote. And then when I come back and work on these 2, you guys will vote until we get down to the last one standing that I will try to finish and FFO in March. Fun, right? So much fun. So many people on Flosstube and in the stitching community are so clever, and I can't help myself. I have to join all the things. Okay, I did not join starting 31 new things in March, but that seemed totally a fun way to do March Madness. And I don't know what their hashtag is. I will check. Check Steel City Stitchers. They'll say, and I'll put it in I'll find it and I'll link it in the description box below what the hashtag is for that. So I think that's it for March plans. It better be, because that sounds like an awful lot of stitching, especially considering that I have 3 more weekends in a row of dance competition. This weekend is just Becca's team, though. 2 of the highly competitive teams are going to this, so it's a little more relaxed, sort of. I think only 2 out of the 3 days do I have to be down there, so it's good because I got a lot of plans to do. I'm also starting in the back of my mind, starting to think about Mania, because that's gonna all need to get kitted up, like final kitted up before May, which will be here before we know it. So giveaway. I have a giveaway this week. I think I've heard from almost everyone about who won in the 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I was hoping to have all that stuff out in the mail and gift cards emailed today, but I was just so far behind on everything being gone all weekend that I was catching up all day. So tomorrow, all that stuff, it's ready to go. I just need to take it to the post office. All that stuff is going to go out in the post office tomorrow, and I will email gift cards tomorrow. And I didn't have a giveaway last week because I was ill prepared, but I have one this week. So since Enchanted Stitching is Pirates of the Caribbean themed, this seemed like a great week to get out this one that I got in that box of my box of goodies that I got on Facebook Marketplace. So this is Country Cottage Kids, A Pirate's Life. I mean, it looks like she stitched this. Like, it's not in perfect condition. That, like, you can see the plastic is a little like beat up, and the chart is not marked on in any way. Like, there's the back. She didn't mark on the chart at all. It's not small. It's 125 by 125, mostly DMC. This must be an older chart because it 2009. 2009. I looked because I thought that this might be out of print. It doesn't appear that it's out of print. A quick Google search, I was able to find several places to purchase it, but it's not like on 123 Stitch. But I think if you don't win this, I think you could get your hands on it if you wanted to. So I felt, okay, if it was out of print, I probably would have donated it to Michelle Bendy, but I think you can still get this. But it is older because it calls for 3 crescent colors, which is now Classic Colorworks, and 1 Weeks dye work. Just to be aware. So that's it. That's what I'm giving away this week is a Pirate's Life. So if you're in Enchanted Stitching, you know, it might come in handy. So I figured I better do it at the beginning of the month and you could get your hands on it. So I actually want you to tell me, and it's not related to pirates, but if you want to be entered to win this, which you have to be 18, do not say giveaway. I will delete your comment if you say giveaway. But if you want a chance to win this chart, tell me, are you doing any type of March Stitchy Madness? Are you participating, or are you just watching along and laughing at all of us that do these crazy things? I would not blame you one bit. So that's it. That's all I got, guys. I hope you have had a great week. I hope you have a good week coming up. Everybody stay safe. And I'm so excited to hear about all the market recaps from everybody. Go to market, bring back lots of goodies. And for the rest of you, I will see you next week. Cheers.